Most people think the future belongs to the loudest, to the ones with the most followers, the most data, the most reach. They are wrong. In 2026, power doesn't belong to the signal. It belongs to the void. And today, I'm going to hand you the blueprint of that void. What you're about to hear is not self-help. It is not advice on how to be productive or happy. It is a doctrine of survival for a future that is becoming increasingly hostile to human autonomy. We are moving into an era where your thoughts are predicted before you think them and your desires are manufactured before you feel them. To survive this, you cannot just be smart. You must think like a Robert Greene strategist, but not the Robert Greene of old historical courts, the Robert Greene of the digital dark age. I am going to give you 13 psychological rules. These are the adaptations of power for a world ruled by silicon and surveillance. If you apply them, you become a ghost in the machine, a glitch in the algorithm. You become the one person the system cannot predict, and therefore the only person it cannot control. But be warned, once you see the strings, you can never go back to being a puppet. The comfort of ignorance is gone. Let's begin the dissection. Rule 1, Strategic Apathy, the Grey Rock Doctrine. We live in an outrage economy. Your anger is a commodity. Every headline, every tweet, every video is designed to bypass your logic and hijack your amygdala. Robert Greene would see this weak spot immediately. He would see a generation of men and women who have no emotional skin. You poke them, they bleed. You insult them, they type a paragraph. You ignore them, they spiral. Robert Greene's framework repeatedly shows that when you react to someone, you give them power. When you get angry at a provocation, you are transferring your energy to them. You are funding their relevance with your attention. In 2026, the ultimate power move is not to win the argument. It is to look at the argument, look at the person screaming, and feel absolutely nothing. This is the Grey Rock method weaponized. You become a surface so smooth, so uninteresting, so cold that their manipulation slides right off. Imagine a colleague trying to sabotage you. They spread a rumor. They try to trigger you in a meeting. The old you would defend yourself. The old you would raise your voice. The Robert Greene strategist version of you? You look at them. You hold the eye contact for 3 seconds too long. You don't blink. And then you turn back to your work without saying a word. You treat them like background noise, like a pop-up ad. You don't argue with a pop-up ad. You close it. This destroys people. It breaks their psychological frame because they need your reaction to validate their existence. When you deny them that reaction, you are not just ignoring them. You are erasing them. In a world where everyone is screaming, "Look at me," the man who says nothing is the loudest thing in the room. Silence is not empty. It is heavy. It is full of answers they are afraid to hear. Use apathy as a shield and a sword. Let them exhaust themselves trying to get a rise out of you. And when they are tired, panting, desperate for any acknowledgement, that is when you smile. A cold, detached smile and you walk away. Rule 2, the synthetic mirror. Narcissism is the key. Everyone in 2026 believes they are the main character. Social media has trained humanity into a state of terminal narcissism. They are not looking for connection. They are looking for an audience. Robert Greene would exploit this ruthlessly. He wouldn't try to impress people with his achievements. He wouldn't talk about his story. He knows that nobody cares. You do not show them who you are. You show them the version of themselves they desperately want to be. If you are dealing with a man who thinks he is a genius, you don't prove you are smarter. You ask him questions that allow him to perform his genius. You let him preen. You let him lecture. You become the perfect surface for his ego to reflect upon. Why? Because once someone sees their ideal self reflected in your eyes, they become addicted to you. They don't love you. They love the way they feel when they are around you. It is a subtle distinction, but it is the difference between a friend and a fanatic. Robert Greene has repeatedly emphasized that everyone sees what you appear to be, while few experience what you really are. In 2026, you must curate that appearance for each individual target. This is not being fake. This is interface design. You are designing a user interface for the human in front of you. For the insecure boss, you are the loyal, slightly less intelligent soldier. For the chaotic lover, you are the grounding rock. For the rebel, you are the co-conspirator. You shift, you adapt, you mirror. And the danger, the dark beauty of this is that while they are staring into the mirror, admiring their own reflection, they do not notice that you are studying them. You are learning their triggers, their insecurities, their vanity. You are gathering the data that will allow you to dismantle their defenses later, should it become necessary. Most people try to break down walls with force. The mirror walks through the front door because the owner invited him in to look at the decoration. Rule 3. Outsource the dirty work, the invisible hand. In the digital age, fingerprints are forever. You cannot afford to be the villain. If you are caught destroying a reputation, sabotaging a rival, or directly taking someone down, the mob will descend. Cancel culture is the modern guillotine. Robert Greene has often highlighted how power players delegate unpopular actions while preserving their own image. In 2026, you must never be the one holding the blade. You must be the one who whispers to the man who holds it. If a rival needs to be removed from your company, you do not file the complaint. You plant the seed of doubt in the mind of the boss. You make a casual comment to the gossip. I'm worried about him. He looks tired. I hope he isn't drinking again. You frame it as concern. You frame it as empathy. Then you step back. You let the system do the work. You let the rumor propagate. You let the algorithm of office politics run its course. When the blow lands, when he is fired, when the relationship ends, you are there to offer comfort. You are the survivor. You are the clean one. This applies to information warfare as well. Never attack an enemy directly on a public platform. It looks petty. It lowers your status. Instead, you allow others to attack for you. You like a comment. You share an article without caption. You signal to your network who the target is without ever saying the name. The mob is a weapon, but you do not lead the mob from the front. You direct it from the back. This creates a terrifying aura around you. People will notice that bad things happen to those who cross you, but they will never be able to prove it was you. They will suspect it. They will feel it. And that suspicion creates a far deeper respect than any direct threat ever could. The threat you can see is a challenge. The threat you can't see is a curse. Be the curse. Rule 4. The cult of the black box. Information asymmetry. We live in the era of radical transparency, or at least the illusion of it. People live stream their breakdowns. They tweet their location. They post their wins and their losses. They believe that sharing is connecting. Robert Greene would despise this. He understands that information is leverage. And when you give away information freely, you are giving away your leverage. In 2026, you must become a void of information. You listen, you watch, you read, but you do not broadcast. When someone asks, "What are you working on?" you say, "A few things," and you change the subject. When someone asks, "Who are you seeing?" you smile and you say nothing. You maintain a strict asymmetry. You know everything about them because they post it, they say it, they scream it. They know nothing about you. This imbalance creates power. Think about the most powerful algorithms. Do you know how they work? No, it's a black box. You put in, you get out. But the mechanism is hidden. That mystery is why it controls you. You must become a black box to the people around you. If they know your plans, they can sabotage them. If they know your fears, they can trigger them. If they know your desires, they can withhold them. But if they know nothing, they are fighting a ghost. And there is a darker side to this. When you are silent, people project their own fantasies onto you. They assume you are smarter than you are. They assume you are richer than you are. They assume you are more dangerous than you are. Silence is a canvas where people paint their own insecurities. Let them paint. Let them build a monument to you in their minds. Do not correct them. Do not clarify. In a world where everyone is a glass house, the man who lives in a bunker is king. Keep your input high and your output zero. Let them wonder. Let them starve for a glimpse of the truth. Rule 5. Artificial empathy. The sniper smiles. There is a misconception that Robert Greene-style strategists are cold, emotionless robots. This is amateur hour. A robot is easy to spot. A robot is easy to isolate. The true master of psychological strategy is warm, charming, empathetic. But in 2026, this empathy is not a feeling. It is a tool. Robert Greene repeatedly explores the necessity of understanding human emotions better than the people experiencing them without becoming consumed by them. You see, most people drown in empathy. They feel others' pain so deeply they cannot act. They get swept up in the hysteria of the group. You will view emotions as data points. When she is crying, you are not sad. You are analyzing, why is she crying? What does she need to hear to stop? How can this vulnerability bind her closer? When the team is panicking, you do not panic. You simulate concern. You mirror their anxiety just enough to show you are one of them. But inside, your heart rate hasn't changed. This detachment allows you to operate surgically while everyone else is reacting to the emotional storm you are navigating the ship. It allows you to say the perfect thing, not the honest thing, the perfect thing. The thing that disarms them, the thing that makes them trust you. I understand how you feel. You're right to be angry. I've never met anyone who sees the world like you do. These are key codes. They unlock the human firewall. Use them. But never forget that it is a simulation. If you start believing your own performance, you lose the advantage. You must remain the observer behind the glass. You are the sniper, and empathy is simply the scope you use to find the target. Rule 6. Dopamine withdrawal. Control the timing. Time is no longer money. Time is dopamine. In 2026, everyone is addicted to the immediate response, the blue check mark, the typing bubble, the notification sound. People panic when the loop is broken. Robert Greene would see the smartphone not as a communication device, but as a leash, and he would be the one holding the handle. You must never respond on their schedule. You respond on yours. When you receive a text that demands an answer, you wait. Not because you are busy, but because the waiting creates value. In that silence, their mind begins to work for you. They spiral. Did I say something wrong? Is he angry? Why isn't he replying? They check their phone. Nothing. They check again. Nothing. Then, 6 hours later, you reply calm, brief, warm. The relief they feel is chemical. It is a hit of dopamine, and by providing that relief, you have conditioned them like Pavlov's dog. They learn that your attention is a reward, not a right. In negotiations, this is lethal. In romance, it is addictive. The person who is willing to wait is the person who holds the power. The person who needs the answer now is the slave. Be the one who breaks the rhythm. In a world of instant gratification, delay is a god complex. Rule 7, the necessary monster. Unify through fear. Robert Greene has long explored the reality that fear can be a stronger unifier than affection. But in 2026, you don't need to be the monster. You need to point at the monster. Society is fractured. People are lonely. They are desperate to belong to a tribe. And the fastest way to build a tribe is not love. It is a common enemy. If you want to lead a team, a group, or a movement, you must identify a threat, an external force that is trying to destroy us. It could be the competition. It could be the system. It could be a rival ideology. It doesn't matter if the threat is real or exaggerated. What matters is that it unifies the group. It gives them a purpose. Survival. When people feel under attack, they look for a leader who can protect them. They stop questioning your methods. They stop looking at your flaws. They just want safety. You become their shield. This is dark, yes, but look around you. Every successful movement in 2026 is built on this mechanic. Us versus them. If you try to be a leader who appeals to logic, you will lose to the leader who appeals to survival. Find the monster or manufacture one, and then offer them the sword to fight it. Rule 8, the Judas Kiss. Compliment before you strike. There is an amateur move I see people make constantly. They let their enemies know they are enemies. They glare. They make snide comments. They posture. This is stupid. It gives the enemy time to prepare. It puts their defenses up. Robert Greene would despise this lack of discipline. If you plan to remove someone, to fire them, to break up with them, to outmaneuver them, you must treat them better than ever in the days before the move. You complement them. You agree with them. You make them feel secure. You make them feel safe. Why? Because a person who feels safe leaves the gates open. They sleep soundly. They stop watching their back. And that is when you move. The shift should come out of nowhere. It should be total. Robert Greene repeatedly emphasizes that if you must take decisive action, hesitation creates danger. And by the time they realize what has happened, it is already over. They are standing in the parking lot with a box of their things, wondering how it went wrong, remembering how nice you were at lunch yesterday. This isn't cruelty, it is efficiency. It is the mercy of the quick ending versus the torture of the long war. Never signal your intent. A smile is the best place to hide teeth. Rule 9, the chameleon skin. Death to identity. The modern world tells you to find yourself, to be authentic. This is a trap designed to make you rigid. A rigid object breaks under pressure. A fluid object adapts. Robert Greene would tell you to kill fixed identity. Do not be tied to being the nice guy or the tough guy or the moral guy. These are chains. Be what the situation requires. If the room requires a listener, you are mute. If the room requires a commander, you roar. If the room requires a fool, you dance. This is not a lack of character. It is the ultimate survival trait. Adaptation. In 2026, the landscape changes every day. New laws, new taboos, new technologies. The dinosaurs died because they were too big to change. The mammals survived because they adapted. Be the mammal. Shed your skin when it no longer serves you. Change your opinions when they stop being useful. Change your allies when they become liabilities. Loyalty to a sinking ship is not honor. It is self-destruction. Robert Greene would ask you, do you want to be right and defeated, or flexible and alive? Rule 10, the Amoral Outcome. The only thing that matters, we arrive at the final rule, the one that underpins all others. The world judges you on one metric: results. They do not care how hard you tried. They do not care about your intentions. They do not care about your excuses. Did you win or did you lose? Robert Greene has repeatedly shown that history remembers outcomes more than explanations. But let's look closer. If the end is preservation, order, and power, history often forgives the methods used to get there. Stop agonizing over the rules that society set for you. Those rules were often written by the powerful to keep others obedient. The powerful do not merely follow rules, they reshape them. If you need to protect your family, you protect them. If you need to outmaneuver a difficult boss to secure the raise that feeds your children, you strategize. If you need to be ruthless to secure your freedom, you act decisively. This is not about being evil. It is about being effective. In 2026, the gap between the winners and the losers will be the width of a canyon. The winners will be those who did what was necessary. The losers will be those who did what was merely polite. Robert Greene would tell you to choose. You can be a saint in paradise or a strategist on earth, but you cannot be both. So here we are. 13 rules. The world of 2026 does not care about your feelings. The systems of control are tightening every day. To navigate this darkness, you must carry a torch. And sometimes the fire that lights the way is the same fire that burns the city. Use these rules not to destroy but to protect. To carve out a space where you are free, where you are not a data point, not a consumer, not a victim, but a sovereign. Robert Greene didn't write for the people already in power. He wrote for the one who wanted to take it back. Take it back. If you're still here, you're not like the others. Subscribe if you haven't.